And we're live. Welcome to Don't Be Coy. I'm your host, Unkle Lew, and today I have the honor, pleasure, and the utmost appreciation to have with me today Mr. Jamal Tresvant. Jamal, thank you for being on the show, sir. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. How's your week been going for you?
It's been challenging, but it's just glad to overcome the week.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. So for the folks at home, man, if you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm originally from Houston, Texas. Moved down here in Mississippi to go to school at Unkle Lew. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I've launched my own business, which is in the financial industry, called Tresvant Financial Services. And right now, I'm in graduate school at Mississippi College.
All right. Thank you for that, man. Really interesting to talk with you a little bit today about the financial component. So we're going to go ahead and just dive into that real quick. So like, why did you choose the financial industry as far as your business? Like, what started that?
What started it was an early spark in my childhood. All my math teachers noticed that I had great talent with numbers. And then my father always have told me, I'd rather for you to learn to manage your own money and learn how to do everything for yourself versus hiring somebody else to come and do your expenses, everything.
Yeah.
So I've always stuck with that mindset of I want to be my own accountant for my own company because I don't want to be screwed over by someone else.
No, I totally understand that, man. So like, I'm taking it that's what you studied in undergrad at Unkle Lew?
Yes, sir. I got my bachelor's in economics with an emphasis in accounting and business administration.
Okay. Is that what you're getting your master's in right now, or you're studying at Mississippi College?
Oh yeah, I'm getting my master's in accountancy right now.
Okay. So explain that to me, man. Like, I'm not necessarily familiar with like the accounting industry or the finance industry like that. So like for me, when it comes to like money management and things of that nature, it's as simple as just balancing my accounts, making sure that I have checking, savings, pay my bills, all that kind of stuff. But like, if you could walk through a little bit, like, as you were just saying just then, like right now you're focusing on the accounting side and, you know, you want to be your own accountant. What exactly does that look like?
So what it looks like on a daily basis, we all have a choice when we get up in the morning or how we're going to plan out our day. Whether it is budgeting on the right standpoint of, okay, well, today I'm going to set so much money aside to whatever. First of the month come around, I'm going to set so much money aside to where I may spend $100 on groceries. I may spend $60 for gas on a monthly basis, just so that financial strain won't be there for later on towards the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's putting yourself in a predicament to where you can look up and know that you have peace about your financials, not just, you know, because everybody pay bills, everybody can go ahead and spend money. But at the end of the day, are you setting yourself up now in the present time so that in the future, later down in life, you won't be in a strand of, well, I have to get a loan for this, I have to get a loan for that, because you already set yourself up in a particular place to where you're financially stable enough to where if anything happened in life, you're able to not have to worry about anything.
Yeah. Is this like, so You know, man, I think that that's like a whole mindset shift thing, right? Like you,
Yes.
you,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
you
a whole
gotta,
mindset thing.
yeah, exactly. Like you decide that it's like I'm not necessarily living just for today, but I'm also living for the future and stuff as well. Like, um, I would say like that's a pretty big step. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, as I think about like my own personal financial journey, like I had to take my own little baby steps. You know what I mean? And so, like,
Hmm.
what what are kind of like some of those starting points for someone that's just like just starting out, I guess you could say. You know what I mean?
So just starting out, okay, say for instance you make 200,000, you make $2,000 a month. The goal is to not put yourself in a predicament to where you're just out buying, out basically living life.
Mm-hmm.
Out here traveling, just enjoying life, knowing that you only make $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole mindset change to where, okay, I got this 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and plan my whole month out piece by piece so that you know what you're working with. Because I can use this analogy. You have a lot of people that's out here, NBA stars, NFL stars. You have all these people making millions and millions of dollars, but by year one, at the end of year one or year two, they're broke.
Mm-hmm.
For the simple fact, hey, I make this type of money. Let me go ahead and splurge. Let me go ahead and enjoy myself, as opposed to actually sitting down, planning out their expenses, sitting down, budgeting and everything, investing, splurging.
Yeah.
It's good to splurge, but it's only good to splurge when you're at peace with everything that's going on, and you can buy two Mercedes, and it's not gonna break your bank.
Right. I think that that's a key point right there, man. When you say like at peace with everything and trying to find like that at peace moment where it's like, you know, you don't necessarily got to worry about like your checking account because or your bills or things because you already know that those are going to come in and out and it's either going to break even or you're going to at least have some left over. The goal of at least having some left over, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like what are some of the goals that you set for yourself or you would like to achieve?
So when I make my own personal budget, I look at the overall aspect of how much me and my wife bring in. And there's certain things that we like doing. And there's certain things that we know we have to do, like pay bills, go grocery shopping, putting gas in the car. So what I like to do is when each month roll around, I see how much that we bring in that month, and I set up a budget for groceries. I set up a budget for our gas, and then I set it to where we have enough personal, so we don't have to. Oh, do we have enough money? So I want to get my hair, like for my wife, we got enough money. I get my hair done, get my nails done, get my toes done. I just want to have a little girls' night out.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And for me, I have enough money to get my hair cut, be nicely groomed, take care of your personal self. Do you have enough money to take care of your personal self at the end of the day?
Yeah. Okay. So like I think that you're going into like a very interesting topic, man. So like you have the privilege of bringing in like two incomes, you know what I'm saying? Like you just said, you and your wife, like when you think about like starting your own financial journey and it's just like you and yourself and you looking at like your own finances and stuff like that, I think one of the things that you just said is like making sure that you can take care of yourself. You gotta first realize how much yourself costs.
Mm-hmm.
How does one go about doing that?
When it comes down to individually, before I got married, I wasn't worried about, oh, I gotta take care of this for this person. I was just make sure the living space was taken care of. I was making enough money for my living space to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
I had enough money for gas, groceries, and a little for personal spending. For times I just wanted to do stuff on my own. Yeah. So when it came down to it, that's kind of a funny story. I actually struggled with finances growing up. Because whatever I wanted, like, you know, PlayStation 4, like the PlayStations, the games and all that kind of stuff, I always wanted to buy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I had to realize every month, every year, they're going to come out with something new. Mm. So do I want to take the time out to spend money on something that's always going to come out? Or do I want to take that money, set it aside, save up to where I know one day when I want to get married, when I come into a marriage, I'm not coming into a marriage after making $2,000 a month. I'm not coming into a marriage only having $50 left over. Mm. So it was a whole mindset change to where I knew I wanted to get married. I knew I eventually wanted to buy a house. I knew I eventually wanted to have kids. So I had to start putting myself in a predicament of planning for the future.
Yeah.
I had to put myself in a where I can cut out driving back and forth to Texas every week. I can make that once a week. I can cut out eating out every day to where let me cook on a Sunday. Let me go ahead and cook on a Sunday. Go ahead and go get groceries. Because groceries, you can probably spend $100 to $150 on groceries, depending on what you like to buy. Go ahead and pay for groceries and then cook on a Sunday. And when I cook, it'll last me that Wednesday. So I won't have to go out get lunch. I don't have to go out for dinner. I don't have to go out for no fast food. I don't have to go out, keep on buying just random things. All because I know I got the money and I know I'm able to do it. But at the end of the day, I just cutting out a lot of things because I know what I wanted to do in life.
Yeah. Is this something that like I guess you could say you learned in like school and like from like the accounting side and the business side? Like I think about like, you know, whenever you have your operating expenses, like your day-to-day, how much things are going to cost, like, and then you have your capital account. Anytime that you spend something out of your capital account, good business practices, it's going to be an asset that helps to the operations, helps to yourself. So like, you know, thinking about just what you just said, like making those kind of cutbacks and things of that nature, like, is this something that you were just learning in class and you realize like, hey, this is something that I can apply to my life. Let me try some of the things that I'm learning in school. Or is it like something that like you learn through lived experiences? Cause it's like, you know, man, I think for you, you're a very special kind of person, right? Like you already knew how numbers work and you have a gift with numbers, as you were saying. And like, you went to school for economics. You're in school for accounting now. You even own your own financial business. So it's like the mindset that you come in with is like on 10,000 compared to like someone, I can even say like me, where it's like, yeah, I know I want these things, but I also want these things too. And so tomorrow, it just seems like there's always a brighter tomorrow. Grass always seems greener on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with that, it was already installed within me growing up. That's always been something that my father has installed in me. School really just only give me the credentials to do what I have to do. But it's always been something that I've loved doing. It's always been something that's been with me.
Yeah.
And it's been a lifestyle. And I just figured, hey, stuff that I do as a lifestyle, I might as well make that a business. I might as well make that a company, because something that you're good at versus something that something that you're good at versus something that's been a lifestyle are two different things. Something that you've been doing for a lifestyle can change your life in a major way. Something that you're good at, like, I'm good at drawing, I'm good at writing, but that's not something that I know will help build other people. When it comes down to finances, everybody needs help with finances, and because you want to be able, how I feel about everything, you want to be able to go to a car lot, buy a brand new car, and not have to worry about, only bring this and this amount in every month.
Yeah.
You want to go to the car lot, hey, I want to get this car, brand new 2022 Mercedes, and not have to worry about, I might have to cut out on eating for a month. I might have to cut out eating for a whole 2 months.
Yeah.
So it's really just been a lifestyle of working and lifestyle of learning.
Yeah, no.
And that's why I really chose the financial.
So, like, I think that speaks a lot of volume there, man. And so, like, in this kind of the values that you instill into your own finances, right? Like, you want to make sure self is good. And, like, now, whenever you think about, like, your goals, you're not necessarily budgeting for the current self, because the current self is good, right? You're alive, obviously. You're more so trying to take care of that future self and whatever that future self may include. So, like, for you knew that was going to include, like, the wife and kids. So it was like budgeting over self to make sure that they're good and, like, they're enjoying things and stuff of that nature. So, like, how do you share this with people, man? Like, I really think that, like, I know you talk about having, like, a business and things of that nature. What are some other ways that you help out, like, or lessons that you try to share with people about finances?
So right now, I'm really still learning the game as we speak when it comes down to finances. When it comes down with whatever I learn, I like to incorporate that in helping out others. So, like, helping out, say for instance, like, for you, the things that I've helped you out with, those are things that I've actually been through in life.
Yeah.
It's like stuff that I've been through it, and I've already seen the outcome.
I see what you mean. What are some of those things that you're trying to experience right now? Like,
getting my business line of credit will be one of those things. And with that, I'm working on that in order because you don't want to put everything in your name. Putting stuff in your name only draws down on your credit. And when your credit's not good, you'll have to go ahead and try to get loans. Like, for a personal experience, my house, I had to get a loan for my house. Even though my credit was in a good place, I still had to go ahead and get a loan. So now that loan is in my name, it's on my credit. But when it comes down to actually getting on the business side, if I was to do it for my business, my name won't get touched. The only thing that'll get touched is my business. And on the business side, it's not going to impact you like it would if it was in your personal name.
Yeah. Explain that a little bit further, man. Like, I get what you're saying in the sense of like building a business and like having that using that leverage to support you. But like, how does one even just start going about doing something like that?
Taking the time to get mentorship, to get coaching, being under somebody that's already been in that position and learning from them.
Yeah.
Just taking the time to learn, taking the time to constantly evolve and not be stagnated at where you're at.
I see what you're saying. What are go ahead.
I was like constantly growing in your skills that'll help towards personal life and business life.
So like, it sounds like to me, man, you know, you make a lot of correlation between like finances and like this lifestyle thing. And like you were saying, it was already instilled into you that how to manage finances to where it doesn't necessarily control your life, but you control it. Yeah. I think that, do you mind, I guess you could say, if you could say like some of the top skills that you've learned from that, like as far as making sure that you can control your finances, what some of those top skills or top lessons that you've learned from that?
Being able to, on a monthly basis, not putting myself in a predicament that's going to hurt anything that's going on. So we can always want something. We can always feel that we have a need for something, but do you need that for right now in this time period? I've had to learn whatever my eyes see, I don't need to buy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, being in college versus being now. In college, I didn't have to worry about having to wake up, are my lights gonna be paid, am I gonna have gas for my car, am I gonna have to pay rent, am I gonna have to pay a mortgage? I didn't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. And I was adding more stuff to myself versus sitting down. Like, I've had the same car since 2012. I've learned that just because you can go out there and get it doesn't mean that it's the right time to go ahead and get it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And yeah, I like tattoos. Just because you had the money to go ahead and get a tattoo for that instance. So what if something happened with your car? Your check engine light come on. And it's something that if you had to fix it, the money that you spent on that tattoo would have been the money that could have been able to fix your car. and your
Yeah.
car would have been back up and rolling.
Yeah.
So it was a setback to where I had to realize what is a need in my life and what is a want in my life. Do I actually need to get another tattoo, or do I just want to get a tattoo? Do I need another car, or do I want to go ahead and get another car?
Yeah.
Yeah, just not adding anything to myself that doesn't need to be added in this very moment.
That's a key point right there, man. I was just about to ask you, so like, you know, the difference between like a need and your want, right? So like, one of the things that you talked about that you want, or wanted, was a family, and you know, obviously you have one, and a beautiful one at that. I think we all have goals, and essentially our goals are like wants. And so like, when we're making that transition, right, from saying like, okay, cool, I'm not gonna just splurge on all my wants, but how does one prioritize or define like a want that is worth the spending? So like, to put into context, like your family, right? Like you knew that you wanted to get married, you knew you wanted to have kids, and so as time went on, you were able to get to that want. How did you know when that time was right, or like when you made that transition, that this was gonna be the want that you were gonna cash out on?
So I never really was into, when it came down with women and it came down to dating and all that kind of good stuff, I never was the one to chase after multiple women. I just grew up my dad, by the time I was younger, my dad was in his 30s or 40s, so my dad was old school. I never hung around. I hung around my dad most of the times and his friends. So I was never really into what my generation was into starting at a young age. I mean, I wanted to have multiple girls, but I never was interested in pursuing that. Because at the end of the day, I was comfortable with myself, to where I didn't have to, you know, every other day, every week a different, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But when it came down to my wife, it was that relationship with us, it started off different than any other relationship that I ever been in. We started off as friends. And then we started getting a little bit closer. We got best friends. And then best friends with benefits and so forth and so on. So it was when we started dating, I knew that she was the one, but the only thing that was holding us back was we was in college.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get married in college, because we would have been on campus. We would have been living on campus, and I wanted to make sure everything we build outside of being in school. So I actually waited until we graduated. On the day of graduation, I proposed to her.
Yeah.
And got married that same year.
I think
so we had already had we had our daughter our junior year. So that kind of, when she was pregnant, that pushed me even more. Like, yeah, I'm locking this down. I'm trying to make sure nobody else slide in these DMs, whether they was or not. I gotta lock this one down.
Yeah. I feel that, man. I think that that's a beautiful thing too, because like you said, you know, you had a goal.
Yeah, it's just do you want to be in a predicament to where you're tied down to one person, giving them the world, or do you want to give the world? Do you want to give that one person the world, or do you want to give what seems like to be the world to these other people
Mm.
who could be talking to a whole nother man on the side. Like what they saying now, sneaky links and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to have that type of energy, or do you want to be in a predicament to where, hey, I know what I want and I know what I'm gonna get, and to be able to make her feel that way, to where she doesn't have to have sneaky links and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I think you touched on a lot there, man. I think that, like you were saying, and like we've been discussing this entire time, it's like that whole mindset shift, and it's about knowing what you want and like directing your finances, and so that it works towards you getting to what you want. And so it's just like, at the end of the day, all these things are just tools. And like, you know, it's really not that complicated in the sense of, you know, you don't spend as much because you want to be able to take care of the one that you love and make sure that they're good, right? Like, make sure that whatever puts a smile on their face, those kind of circumstances happen. You want to make sure bills are paid because you don't want to have a predicament where they're in a situation where the lights won't turn on or something like that. And when it comes to investing for the future, you think about not only about what you want to do today, but what you want to do tomorrow. It can be as simple as, I want to take my special person to Hawaii, so you got to save for that. You know, is you can't put yourself in a predicament like that, because yeah, it might happen today, but you know you got to eventually pay for that. Man. I knew that this conversation was gonna be relaxing conversation and all those kind of things, but I didn't imagine that you were gonna break it down that easily and just make it sound like common sense. So I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate the time to be speaking with you today.
Man, it's my pleasure. I definitely appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, for sure. Well, I got a few lightning questions, and then what's it called, man? I'm gonna let you get back to your family and enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right.
So, what's your favorite relaxation or self-care activity?
My favorite relaxation, I like nature. I really like just being able to be outside looking at everything, and because nature to me is relaxing. Anytime I can really just sit outside and just look at nature, like going to the reservoir or something like that, or any place that has a nice, beautiful scene, just really, it helps calm me. And that's one of the things that I enjoy doing.
I totally get that. What's your best book recommendation?
Best book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And with that book, it breaks down.
It's Robert T. Kiyosaki. Kiyosaki.
Yes. That's a great book.
No, I totally agree. I really like that book as well. And one person that you would like to thank for your journey thus far?
Man, I definitely like to appreciate you. If it wasn't for you, my business wouldn't be where it is today.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. You know, I really think that you're a very talented individual, and like you have a gift that you should share the world with. So I can't wait to see the rest of the products that you come out with, man.
I definitely appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, thank you again for being on the show, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too.
All right, this has been another episode of Don't Be Coy with Unkle Lew. As always, I'd like to thank this episode's guest for a great conversation, as well as thank you, the listener, for joining in. Whether you're a first-time listener or a regular, I always appreciate your support. If you like today's episode and ever want to listen to more, subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts, Audible, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. And to join our community and access future bonus content, be sure to visit dbkpodcast.com.